What's going on, Disney fans? It is Disney Dan here with episode 2 of DIStory, a Disney history lesson. For this episode, we're going to take a look back at the Tomorrowland Speedway because of that recent announcement and leak coming just before D23, where they are going to potentially, probably definitely going to level the Tomorrowland Speedway in Disney World Magic Kingdom to make way for a brand new Tron light cycle ride. So I thought this would be the perfect time to look back at the history of the iconic race car attraction and remember it before we lose it forever. To truly, though, cover the history of the Tomorrowland Speedway, we got to jump back a little bit to 1967 in Disneyland at the grand opening of the new People Mover attraction. The innovative but kind of simple ride, the People Mover would kind of tour guests around the Tomorrowland area, highlighting various attractions and set pieces. The ride vehicles were moved along a very simple rail and track kind of scenario where they were pushed by big rubber hidden tires. The use of rubber hidden tires made it kind of a perfect pick for Goodyear to be a partner and sponsor for the ride. Years later, when Disney was planning their Disney World in Florida, they asked if Goodyear would like to sponsor the new People Mover ride again, and Goodyear was definitely interested, but ended up pulling back when they learned that the track would not feature any tires, but instead would be like an induction rail system, similar to like the monorail. So Disney had the great idea to say to Goodyear, hey, we've got the new Grand Prix Raceway, which is definitely going to be using a lot of tires, and so let's partner up there. And so they did, and the partnership was set and born for opening day of the Disney World Magic Kingdom. It was 1971, and just like when Disneyland opened in 1955, they both featured a drivable race car experience. The Grand Prix Raceway was tucked in the back corner of Tomorrowland and would quickly become a fan favorite. It was designed to be different, though, from its sister ride, Autopia, in Disneyland, in that the Grand Prix Raceway was more of a racing, indie kind of racetrack experience, where Autopia was more of a highway to the future kind of thing. The ride featured real gas-powered vehicles that were two-seaters, could be controlled by the guest with a steering wheel and a simple accelerator pad. The twisty-turny track layout featured 4 separate lanes that each had a guided rail system that would give the guest freedom to steer, but would prevent them from getting too far off course. The setup allowed for many young guests to get their first driving experience. I know I was certainly one of those first-time drivers in the Speedway. The track layout got minor tweaks over the years, with the most notable minor tweak coming in 1974 when the construction of Space Mountain began, requiring the first big turn of the track to be shortened and the tall northern loop to kind of be reworked and kind of wiggled around to give it a little bit more length. The track stayed mostly untouched, though, from the Space Mountain renovations until the late 80s, when the construction of Mickey's Birthday Land would cut the racetrack almost in half. To celebrate Mickey Mouse's 60th birthday, construction of the new temporary land would begin in 1987. The area would feature a new train station, several attractions, including Mickey Mouse's house and mini surprise party. The construction, though, utilized a parcel of land north of the Grand Prix racetrack and behind the Fantasyland Lagoon that would end up absorbing close to 1/3 of the Grand Prix racetrack's track. So Mickey's Birthday Land ended up eating up that big northern loop, turning it into kind of like a smaller, tighter loop and then guests would essentially go under the overpass, around a quick, tight circle, and then over the bridge right onto the straightway of the track. Kind of really reduced the ride time. As Mickey's Birthday Land grew popular, it was ultimately made a permanent fixture in the park and would eventually become Mickey's Toontown Fair, thus shortening the racetrack kind of forever. The next big development of the raceway came in 1994 when Tomorrowland was revealed and reopened as New Tomorrowland, and a year later the ride itself got renamed into the Tomorrowland Speedway with some new color schemes and paint upgrades on the vehicles and the building. It was pretty cool. A few years after that, in 1999, the park partnered up with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and gave the ride a major facelift with a whole bunch of new attractions and stuff on the actual track, which was very, very cool. The update featured a new large scoring pylon at the beginning of the attraction, had the iconic Indy Yard of brick that would kind of replace the starting line, and Gasoline Alley was placed along the final stretch of the track, and the iconic wheel and wing logo of the Indianapolis Speedway was put all over the attraction, as well as new artwork in the queue that kind of features a couple of the different layouts and tracks. 2012 was the final track change that came as a big part of the Dumbo ride relocation, and it moved the Flying Elephant attraction from the center of Fantasyland out to the Mickey's Toontown Fair. It wasn't really major, but it kind of had the final loop of the track before passengers disembarked shortened just ever so slightly. It really was not that big of a change. But that brings us to 2017, where the big news of the Tomorrowland Speedway being ousted and taken out of the park and into our memories kind of forever. The upcoming D23 event, rumors have begun flying, confirmations have been secretly leaked that the iconic Speedway is going to be leveled to make room for the Tron Light Cycle Power Run ride, that very extremely popular attraction from Shanghai Disneyland. There's been no official plans yet, and in the next couple of days we're going to see some, but inside sources have already kind of begun confirming and sharing details just ahead of the D23 Parks panel. That Tron coaster, though, is the fastest Disney has ever made, with top speeds of like 60 miles per hour, features these really cool little small bike-like seats, and has this amazing glowing dome with all these futuristic, colorful light displays, just like from the Tron movie. It's really, really cool. While it's sad to see this iconic ride go, though, you know what? That's what Disney parks are all about. This ride's been there for 50 years, but technology is evolving, the demand of guests are changing, and Disney keeps innovating, and this is just what happens in the parks. There are two camps: people who hate when Disney messes with their old rides, and people who are forgiving and want to see new and better and crazier things brought into the park. And the rides, the little cars are kind of, it's kind of going out of style, and this Tron roller coaster is going to be so cool to have in the park. I really, really cannot wait to ride it. So there you go. There's the history of the Disney World Speedway, Tomorrowland Speedway Grand Prix Raceway history. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you're enjoying these Disney history videos. If you like them, please subscribe. Leave me a comment below to let me know what other history topics you want me to explore and take a look at. I'll be happy to, give you a shout out if I pick your topic. And let me know what you think about the Speedway being replaced by the Tron Cycle. Is it good? Is it bad? I would love to hear from you. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Like I said, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and as always, you rock. Thanks so much, guys. See ya.